Hello, my name is Sarah Singer, and you are listening to Leta Stori. Today, I am coming to you with a realization and reflection that I had as I was putting my son to sleep. I'm in the process currently of sleep training him. And by sleep training, I mean weaning him from breastfeeding, and so taking away a feeding and teaching him to sleep on his own. And I'm around probably day 5 of this transition. Day 2 and 3 were likely the hardest in terms of him putting up a fight. But more specifically, today was the first day that he had the opportunity to specifically lie down to sleep rather than rock to sleep. And what I specifically want to emphasize or focus on is my realization about his breath, or the breath. We each have this unique ability to ground ourselves in the awareness of our breath. And as I've been on this journey of my awakening, I have come to the realization that the word Muanda Nsemi, or breath or Holy Spirit, means breath. Muanda means breath, as well as spirit. And so to me, I'm fascinated by the connection and the relationship of the breath to the spirit. And I think outside of organized religion, the only time that I have heard this concept accepted or introduced or spoken of on a wide spectrum would be cultures unique to or specific to the Asian cultures or Indian cultures. And simply, again, just the connection between the breath and one's spirit. And obviously, one's language is very specific to a culture, or the culture is told or illustrated throughout one's language. And I find it very unique to recognize that Muanda means breath. And so as I'm looking at my son, close his eyes, watch my breath, become one with my breath to relax himself enough to go to sleep, obviously the transition from him being an infant and a baby, where he was able to create or connect to that oneness by laying on my chest as an infant, and previous to that, when he was in my womb, and his connection through the umbilical cord of being so close to my heartbeat as a fetus. So I think that oneness is the same level of groundedness that we are meant to experience on our own in our presence and experience here on earth. And being that it's in the language of Chitango, or found in Bantu languages, I'm sure, across the continent, I'm very much so interested in seeing it I very much so feel as though it's a privilege of mine to be able to teach my son to be one with his breath, or be one with the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of the Most High, the Creator, Leta Nzambi. And I'm just, like I said, I feel privileged, I feel inspired, I feel excited, but I also feel like there's a great need to expand our awareness as it relates to connecting with our Father. Recognizing that the imprint of the Father, the breath of the Father, if we believe that it was the Creator, the Most High, who spoke things into existence, and we recognize the patterns of leaves, the pattern within a pineapple, the pattern within every form of creation in life is a pattern that was originally spoken, or vibration, or a frequency that was once a word spoken. And if we choose to believe that and we acknowledge it, I think it is our duty to be in alignment and oneness with our breath. If we believe the Most High breathed breath into, Adam and Eve, it's our duty to be in alignment and to then create that consciousness within ourselves. And I think there's so many other entities that know that faculty or know that value, but we either don't know it or consciously forsake it. And so, again, I felt inspired and just humbled that the Most High would see fit that I be able to have the ability to teach my child how to breathe, how to do things on their own. And I think that's the gift of parenthood in general, to steward someone in the way that they should go. So I just, again, want to encourage you to seek oneness, seek the value of being in alignment with the Spirit of the Most High, whether it be as simplistic as grounding yourself in the awareness of your body, the awareness of your breath, and praying and seeking guidance and direction through the Most High, or researching, because I think for me that's next. That is the next interest of some sort, to understand what was the application, or how did our ancestors relating within Bantu culture utilize the breath that we physically had, and what other evidence of the breath is present in, whether it be Bantu language, culture. I think we can all recognize the value of the drum and frequency in that capacity. But I'm interested to know more, and I'm curious to do research and find out more. If any of you all listening have an understanding of Bantu culture or Congo culture in that way, please do share, because I'm interested. I'd love to know your thoughts, your experiences. The only other relationship that I know to just the breath and movement would be probably capoeira. I know, again, in Asian culture, there is Tai Chi, which is a practice of breath and movement. So I'm curious to know if there's any other practice that is unique to either a Bantu tribe, a Bantu culture. And I know, there's conversation or thought and belief that Tai Chi is African or is of a particular Bantu culture. And if that is the case and you have information on it, please, again, do share. But I find that to just be an interesting topic for discussion, and I wanted to bring it to you. So thank you for listening. And I look forward to continuing to steward my gift of parenthood, and just as I learn, to encourage my son to stand in his awareness of self and his impact on the world around him, and his ability to connect with the Creator, Leta Nzambi. So again, thank you for listening. My name is Sarah Singer, and you are listening to Leta Stori. Bye for now.